All right, so this is going to be a training on infiltration. So it's to infiltrate the basic common lines of defense that people would try to do to get in. And the thing is that every day nothing really happens, and it's a good thing that doesn't happen, but the thing is that we get comfortable, we get complacent, we get lazy, and those are the times when I guess you say Satan will infiltrate and deceive, manipulate, and distract, and that's where it comes in. Okay, so to keep us on top of it is that the core team will, in a sense, someone will implement this inert stick, and we'll call it a safety game, or safety team written on the stick. We'll play the game every week during service. We'll ask volunteers from the church parking lot or whoever, just random person that we will designate to kind of come in to bring a long rifle bag, a guitar case, a long coat on a hot day, umbrella on a dry day, safety team to screen and filter out the inert. And then the safety team will need to be whoever's on duty that day to filter out and screen out these inert objects. Okay, and then if they do get through and make it through, what happened? How did they get distracted? Who distracted them? How did they let it through? Why didn't they see it? And we're going to be making it pretty obvious too, in a sense, so that when we're trying to bring it in, we'll see. So I want to show you kind of like the idea. This will be the inert object. It says safety team on there. It could be, something, right? This is a little long, right? But it could have been, a little smaller, whatever. And also, we also have this fishing pole. I was messing around with it earlier. But let me get this out. I was hiding it here, right? And it's pretty comparable to this is a BB gun, right? But for an actual rifle, it's about maybe a couple inches taller than the other end, but it's also labeled with the safety team on there, so that we know it could be, disguised as something here. Oops, it's getting out of focus here. There you go. Something can be here, right? So what we're gonna do here is to have somebody, and it could be a smaller kid fishing pole. This is probably a little long for it. Someone could come in. You could hide this in an umbrella, and we want someone to kind of walk in with this thing. Alright, now it might look a little grotesque, and sometimes it does come out that way. How would I do this? I'll probably stick my hand through here, through my long coat or shirt that's leaving baggier. And let me try to do that. And it's probably a little cleaner with the barrel gun. And then just kind of push this all the way through to my shoulder, right? Through my arm. On a hot day, it'd just be like this, right? I know it's kind of bulking out a little bit, but let's clean it up a little bit. There you go. Alright, that looks pretty good now, right? And I'll just be walking in with my umbrella. And safety team will have to kind of go in and say, hey, what's going on? What's in the, what's with the umbrella on a hot day? I was like, just want to, don't want to tan, skin issues or whatever. Really? Alright, well, let me see what's in the umbrella. Like, oh, no, you can't, I'm sorry, dude. I can't let you in unless I check that umbrella. I think there's something suspicious in there. Like, oh, you mean this? And then and so you find the stick, right? It could be something, and you gotta be careful. But if it's just, they reveal it, and they're like, oh yeah, you found it. We just kind of like step aside, not to be alarmed or anything like that. But safety team did their job for the day, and they found the football or the stick, you want to call it. Alright, so that's kind of how that would go. And you're going to have to be creative about, each week. Who's going to be doing what? Or is it going to be umbrellas this time? Is it going to be in a rifle bag? Is it going to be something else? I'm trying to put this back. And we could totally stick this into a long rifle bag. Let's see here. Which I have. Alright, so a rifle bag, and it might be a little longer. Yeah, it's a little longer, so we'll probably need to get a smaller maybe I do have a smaller pole actually that's a little wider than this, and hopefully you get the idea is to try to hide something. I don't know, it's practical, but maybe it doesn't have the scope on it, or maybe they have to do it this way. I don't know. Maybe it's just too bulky. They could hire majority of the barrel, big coat, whatever, bring it in. I'm sure they're thinking about it, and they probably need to stick it down their pants or something like that. I don't know, but we're gonna stick the inert stick. Okay, so we find proper size in there, stick it in. Maybe a little bulky enough. I think the fishing pole might work because it's got that bulge that you have to put in. But I know there's LTC and stuff like that it's okay. But let's just say if he's gonna be like that, maybe he wears the fake mustache or the wig or whatever, and you're like, hey, what's up with this guy? He's kind of weird, right? Because they're probably gonna want to disguise themselves too, or they just wear sunglasses and walk into the congregation with sunglasses, whatever that may be. Okay, so it'll be not too obvious. We're not gonna tackle the guy. We find the stick. It's just so that we don't get complacent on what we're doing. And if someone does get through, like, what happened? We need to talk about that in the core team. How did it happen? Do we need 2 guys, one to man the door, another guy to greet and filter out, because we're gonna get distracted. Okay, and yeah, it's up to the team to kind of find creative ways to penetrate and get in. Okay, now it could be maybe like a guitar case, right? You can easily fit that in the guitar case. But you're like, wait a minute, he looks perfectly normal, but he's not part of the worship team, right? Or maybe someone like, hey, it doesn't make sense. It just doesn't match up. So just along someone will just say something, maybe investigate it and step and ask them. And if they're not willing to, then that's maybe some weird flags. There's a sign or whatever the case may be. Then you're gonna have to say, hey, you're not welcome here unless I'm able to filter and screen out that, make sure that it's safe. It's just a guitar. It should be a guitar, right? Like, no biggie. And if they're not showing it to you, then you're gonna have to do something and say something about that. Okay. And so who knows? I mean, it could be a real threat. But the fact is that you're on top of it. You're being tested, and maybe make it fun. Okay. And so that we're always aware that there's something's going on. There's a game going on, or it could be turned into a real game or a real thing, and that way we're not complacent. Okay. Thanks for watching, and kind of go from there. And I'll probably talk about some other scenarios where of an actual thing. Hopefully we don't have to get to that point, but the fact is that if we're filtering from that point, we want to avoid having to go in and actually do the tackling thing and disarming thing and actually draw on it. We don't want to ever go there. Okay. And if anything that happens, that should be happening outside, not in the congregation. Okay. Thanks.